Hello and welcome to our thought for the day, where we place our feet. The last few days I've been thinking about where we place our feet, where we go in response to God's direction and the significant influence it can have on those places. In Joshua chapter 3 verses 9 to 17, God's people finally set foot in the promised land, but only after they first set foot in the Jordan River, flowing in flood. Joshua said to the Israelites, "Come here and listen to the words of the Lord your God. This is how you will know that the living God is among you, and that he will certainly drive out before you the Canaanites, Hittites, Hivites, Perizzites, Girgashites, Amorites, and Jebusites. See, the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth will go into the Jordan ahead of you. And as soon as the priests who carry the ark of the Lord of all the earth, set foot in the Jordan, its waters flowing downstream will be cut off and stand in a heap." So when the people broke camp to cross the Jordan, the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant went ahead of them. Now the Jordan is in flood all during harvest. Yet as soon as the priests who carried the Ark reached the Jordan and their feet touched the water's edge, the water from upstream stopped flowing. It piled up in a heap a great distance away at a town called Adam in the vicinity of Zarethan, while the water flowing down to the Sea of the Arabah, that is the Dead Sea, was completely cut off. So the people crossed over opposite Jericho. The priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord stopped in the middle of the Jordan and stood on dry ground, while all Israel passed by until the whole nation had completed the crossing on dry ground. So the priests carried the symbol of God's presence, the Ark of the Covenant, into the middle of a flooded river. They stepped out in obedience to God's direction and saw God do something amazing. They had no power even to stand in a flood, let alone to alter it. But God did. He opened up a way through the flood. They passed through the river and into the land God had promised to them. They were to take the land and bring righteousness there by walking in God's ways and showing all those around them the blessing of going God's way. We too are priests, for in the New Testament understanding, all believers are. We carry God's presence because he lives in us by his Spirit. And we carry him into every place, even the turbulent waters of life. Through his presence and for his glory, God brings change. Change not only for us, but for those around us. They also get to share in the blessing that comes through our obedient action. God opens up a way for his kingdom to come into our land and communities. So where does God want you to take a step of faith and place your feet? My response to this has been to prayer walk, to place my feet upon some streets and to pray for the people living along those streets, praying for God's kingdom to come in the lives of those who don't yet know him, and for strengthening and blessing upon those who do. Probably like me, you have particular routes you walk on frequently. Why not change your walking route to pray for a new street and ask God to help you notice what he wants to show you? Be open to share a kind word, or perhaps share with someone that you're praying for their street and offer to say a prayer for them. God is with you. Amen.